But of course,
I'm gonna be very honest with you, the quad, I understand you want to actually cut down the options Radium has to actually dominate the match, but obvious one ban that we can actually always expect on the red side. The first ban's always going to be that Zushin, a hero that can control you and ruin positioning for most of your teammates. I think Zushin is a very valid ban. Most teams actually just go directly to get that Zushin ban on the first banning phase in itself if they're on the red side, or they just directly go for the pick. So I think I actually saw that from a mile away. The Kadita is a no-brainer. I believe that, you don't want to actually get your mid lane, especially when your mid lane is Bid, who is very stationary most of the time. He's got mages like Farsa in his roster. He's got mages like Yve. You don't want him to be in trouble. Neither do you want the rest of your team to actually face any big threats from any bush. From like, you don't actually expect to see a Saber in this stage of the game, obviously. So Saber, Etira, no, none of these heroes are not going to be picked. So the other biggest threat per se is that slippery fish lady, the mermaid that causes death and a lot of salty water in your face. I think Kadita a very reasonable ban.
I mean, not just the fact that it's not just for the fact that Kadita is absolutely a big threat to what Bid has in store, but it's also something that they need to look out for in terms of what's going on the other side. It's a really good pick in the hands of Abi. He has been playing this for quite some time. He's ready to use it instantly whenever there's a stationary high ground mage on the other side. It's expanding river, so you can expect some sort of fast rotations coming in from both teams. If it was dangerous grass, it would be even better, but knowing that they don't want to deal with side where you have Fate, who will be looking to get that 1v1 in the lane. Wants to have the laning advantage. That's what GodLike like. They're an early game aggressive composition. They're an early game composition. They like to play aggressive as much as possible. And that's why you're seeing some events that could hinder that being taken away, like the Baxia, and of course on the other side, the Freya that we spoke about earlier, someone that's not going to be given away, and Sunshin taken off the table. Look at that, Esmeralda being prioritized, knowing that whatever may come, they can play to their strengths, put that in the goal lane in the hands of Fate. Absolute monster on this Esmeralda, put in the EX lane. Romcom can work wonders with it, and also it's a denial pick for S8ul. You don't get a tanky goal laner that Radium is comfortable playing with as well. So this looks good for GodLike at the moment. To start off, I think the reply has to be something very simple, something plain. Go for a Kalea. Maybe at this point, those are two golden is kind of left open. You have a tank shredder on the other side.
Two, and you've got Lunox, a hero that can actually shred through.
이거 스트림 시켜 그러대.
Goodness,
Someone was pretty good though.
onto the EXP lane, and hey,
Which be link halinaze?
would be kind of surprised.
Manda weird to bawa na.
If it's the goal lane, but Yuzong in the EXP lane is a big threat there. That is a hero you don't want to really fight, even with the reduction in the damage that he deals with shot residue the passive.
Iba muna stream na link. What's the balay na?
Damage less, but in the grand scheme of things, you don't really care about
Michael.
damage or not. Look at that. We've got Guinevere 2 on their side.
Michael.
No, that's the reason. That's the reason for the Guinevere pick. Hard into the fact that Bid is going to be able to pick up this Eve. Usually, S8ul against GodLike, the Eve is off the table. That was a prediction. That was a prediction coming through as well. They took out the Yisun Shin, give them the Esmeralda, knowing that they picked the Esmeralda so that Bid can have a good time in the mid lane with this Eve being picked up, and it works like clockwork for GodLike. And instantly, S8ul locking down this Guinevere, use that spatial migration, jump to the back line during the RWM phase. Even though you're not susceptible to CC, you definitely can dish out the damage with Violent Requiem, and you have this Yuzhong being picked up that can dive straight into the back line with the Black Dragon form, and for that very reason, already Big has a big target on his back. Grok into the fray, making sure he can slow down, provide those big massive sets, let them play as aggressive as possible, give space for Van and Bid, and Lunox being locked in, knowing that they need a tank shredder, knowing that carry might get taken away, and you don't want to give carry in the hands of Radiant when you know you're going to have someone like this Esmeralda in his face the entire time. So Lunox, again, it's going to be a mid lane war. You have the ability to use that brilliance to get out of team fights.
Lunox tay kyo jaw barni
golden
jaw Radium
in this current meta. So the first phase is set, and I think
tay kile
S8ul
pakala
have
pakala hero
laid
kile ba
down
itu
the
manu
trap
pakala je
really well, and GodLike fell into that trap
Udah itu manu
without
pakala
even
je
seeing what was coming. But and it only translates into the next phase of the draft. Looking at all the early game picks that they can go for. Leomore is taken off, so Van might be looking to pick up the Lancelot. But if I was S8ul, don't leave it open, man. Just ban it out. The Lancelot, you don't want trouble. Yes, that he's great as well. Now you pick your poison. Which is the one hero that you
मैं Kronos ला Kronos ला
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I feel like there's a possibility of a very invading style comp for the Zed team as well. That's what they're actually going for.
잘돼 내내 뭐 알아 본데 뭐 껴대 군도 껴 돌아지나 뭐
So basically what I was about to say was they don't want to actually
뭐 껴 안에 돌아도 camera 안에 돌아도 다들 뭐 게임 걸어 해도 몰라 셋 볼래
she's not a very safe option to actually crowd control the enemy. The moment you actually miss the spatial migration, you're going to have this hard time catching the enemies. And I believe that Grok is going to be the biggest threat for the side of Team S8ul. But if they go for a dive style comp, they can just dive the backline, get them out of the picture. Because obviously Esmeralda is going to take his own sweet time to do whatever damage that she wants. He's either going to try to split both of the front line and the back line of the side of Team S8ul, or they are going to make sure that they actually play it safe and pull the enemies back to their safe spot, play around maybe a wall or two, try to get Grok's spells, connect properly, get a few people down.
You know what?
That might actually work.
And you know what? Look at the bans that are coming out from the side of GodLike. They understand that they need someone of a set potential with that rather than set potential to pick off for a bit of shine on the table. Then you have the chip that's taken off to make sure a backline dive is prevented with that teleport, with that shortcut. The only kind of options left open
Crucifix la
Khalid. Of course, Hilda is a great option as well, but not knowing what they're going to go for. Khalid, again, another hero that has AoE damage, can dive straight into the back line on top of this Eve, and can go toe-to-toe against this Grok in the early game, and at least give some poke down to make sure they have the duo in the mid lane. Like I said earlier, Ark and Bid like to play aggressive. That mid lane duo love to play aggressive. They want to dominate the river. So S8ul, Apex, and Abi have to go toe-to-toe against them in that aspect. And so far, every team that has gone toe-to-toe has not made it out alive. They have done the best that they can to understand what the early game is there. Their mouth is. And speaking of that, Lancelot is the one that they chose. They went for in the jungle. And of course, you pick up Arlong in the EXP lane. And now we're looking at an aggressive dive composition coming in from GodLike with the backline Eve present to provide the high ground RWM, dictate the pace of the game, the tempo of the game.
Technology 단도 그런 developing country에서 봐. 단도 기나고 manufacturing country에서
Martis in the EXP lane. We've seen this come out from NT before.
나가고
got a lot of potential, assault.
이기고요. 뭐라 사디도 arms corporation라고 부르에서 달라 디디도 달라 서로 그러지. 자본인들 나서 그냥. 아야 자본인들 나서 그죠. 뭐 이기들 나서 그죠래. 뭐 미사 $1 그죠.
Guinevere, that Zong, and also that Linux, man. It's going to be
네, 누준비 뭘 네?
Hey folks, if you're watching from around the world, yes, you're looking at a Martis in the EX play. Not something that we see quite often, but it has worked with S8ul before. It's worked with Anti before. When they want to go full bench composition, they're trying to bridge the gap between the early and the late game. In that mid-game phase, this Martis is going to be screaming and looking and hunting down the squishies. In this case, Bid with that Mortal Coil looking to stop that Thorn Rose coming out from Van S8ul as well. And give enough pressure on their side. Of course, it doesn't ideally work if you know how to kite that. If you know how to play around this composition, you can. And I think that's what GodLike are looking to do. Bid is going to be the target. He has a big cross on his back. He's going to be the one piece that S8ul are going to be looking for at this point. It all comes down to if they're going to be able to get the early game in their favor, because Kakarot is going to be looking to hunt him down. I do not want to be Bid in this game, but you know what, folks? I know you are all craving for it. We are up and ready. The grand finals has begun. The El Clasico of Indian esports. We're talking about GodLike on the blue side, IQ S8ul on the red. You're looking at the RNG Gaming Cup final. $16,551 US prize pool. My name is Kronos, alongside me Crucifix to bring you the action. It is a best of 7, and game 1 is just a teaser.
Oh my
god, look at that. Bit of a little bit of a, how do I put it? A beginning of a fight there, but it's not gonna follow through with too much. I obviously kind of like wanted some fight there, but in the end of the day, decided Team S8ul really don't want to engage there.
Oh no, Radium! Oh no, the dive! Come through!
Rans through, goes down, first blood.
Radium.
Yeah, he does indeed. The Petrify coming in for Radium as well, at the right place, at the right time. They know the early pressure is important. They understood the fan was going to come in for the retribution at the right time, and they used it, bite the bullet. And now you can see a bit of a rotation coming out from Anti.
Let's go.
But this is what they want to do. This is what I spoke about. GodLike love to play early, love to play aggressive, and S8ul are going toe-to-toe.
It's gonna be very honest with you. I think the Martis pick, in all honesty, is kind of
엔딩이 Martis 드시오. 엔딩 Martis 무슨 말길래요?
in the early game. That's a lot of crowd control to be worried about, and the dashes. You gotta actually
자기 대물 어디 들리냐고.
giving the health and keeping that mark up. You always helps in every single aspect of what an artist's kit actually provides. However, I believe that Lucas would have actually been a better choice if that was what you're going for. But I get you've already mentioned this, but Anti's already proven that he's done very good with Martis on the EXP lane before, and I think he can prove it again. Overall, I think that S8ul really have a good positioning for the coming up. Do you think it's going to be possible for GodLike to actually get it without any trouble?
Not sure about it. Apex looking to scout out the bushes. Van goes in with a puncture. Thorn Rose to push him back. Ants TNLB looking to dominate that riverside as well, waiting for Fate to make his way. Radium sees that and provides the vision. Apex again, Desert Tornado zoning them away. Fate's gonna be a problem. A Thorn on their side. Speaking of a Thorn, Romcom goes in. He looks to get the final side down as well on top of Apex. Radium with the Black Dragon form, but Romcom chases down Apex, gets that kill, and now it's a 5v4. Thorn Rose, but he misses the turtle. Spatial migration as well as the big tech charge coming out from Art. They do something, but Kakarot gets a kill, secures the turtle, and Radium follows up, chases down the Violet Requiem, and Romcom is down and out. S8ul are on the hunt. It's a 4-1 in the early game, less than 3 minutes.
That's a wolf at your door.
Level get busy, level get busy.
I'm telling you, man, S8ul, the position of that fight. Oh, good grief, the spatial migration. Romcom almost down.
마에 조셉도 말해야 되는
Fate is trying to run away, but does not. Oh my god! Raging King catching Phantom.
완기 길려줘.
Apex might actually not be able to actually do it. Romcom gets that kill, but that's also going to lead to
엔딩 몰지.
all three members from the side of Team GodLike or the bot side, and he will be taken out in a matter of seconds, man.
그니멀 블루 가이드 좋아. 완기 사돈 그래서 안 비어라.
A lot
0-2
done.
줘.
There's no answer coming in from GodLike.
Early game
They
0-2
did not
1 man.
expect this coming.
어.
S8ul. Not a lot of teams go toe to toe
네.
against GodLike in the
많이
early
골라야지,
game.
미소하지, 미소.
And S8ul said, no problem, my guy. We've been in this position before. We know what to do. The pressure is not on us. The pressure is on you. You've proven to everyone that you have done it before. You have a reputation called the Land Demons to live up to. And now they use that pressure against them. A complete Uno reverse. And GodLike, they need to find answers, and they need to find answers quick. And it's got to be this next turn. 20 seconds. They got to position themselves better. Need to find the right timing. S8ul not able to get the retribution on point. And you know what? There's no one better in this game in India for retributions compared to.
I think the side team S8ul.
Early black 골. 나 early 이도 조셉 도나 late game 하게요.
No, okay, forget about that. Raging Tanks.
자, 자니 된다 미스테이크 그래.
Away from the fight, get the turtle.
Advertise 하다 어쩌려고요?
Continuing the fight, bids ultimate is in connection with S8ul, but nobody fallen just yet. The side of team S8ul chasing now. The wolf is going at.
이거는 랜서 모르는 맞지 저러. Early game nice battle fight.
There goes
Mid 모르려.
jumping in, getting the kill.
근데
Radium absolutely demolishing, but gets traded off by the same guy that he killed. S8ul might be in trouble.
자이지 완전 저러. Nice flicker 아비.
That chaos assault. He caught
Kick
him
it,
at the
let's go.
right place at the right time. Flickered for his own. Was quite hungry,
nice.
quite thirsty.
Brilliance smart.
Now using the brilliance to make it out of harm's way. Van had the thorn roll to try and make it out there alive, but he was too low in HP, man. Abi was just there waiting.
Double hit,
They extended
square,
the
mana,
and now you can tell the pressure that they put up so far
Mistake,
has
mistake.
extended to
What?
a 1.7k goal lead. IQ no room to, nowhere to reverse the spatial migration. Violet Requiem can't breathe. It's CC upon chain CC. And he's not able to do
Peter.
anything in Apex. This is the
Who is Peter?
reason for this pick.
Nee,
In
Peter
basic
gillig.
lineup, like you said, an invasion is what they're getting.
Peter
Again,
gillig.
try to go for the spatial migration. Wrong comp. What was that? I don't think it was needed. Goes in for a nice slash, but they take out
give me-
Van is
die,
down and
die.
out. And now the Violet Requiem to follow.
Dude, GodLike top press though,
As
eh?
Anti's able to
GodLike
take a
top
wrong
press.
comp. Felt like a disconnection in terms of communication there.
Let game the hero na dan.
That was absolutely
Kali beat this
great
a lot damage to
fly
paro.
there. So S8ul completely shut down whatever opportunities GodLike actually had in that setup that they were trying to do. But in the end of the day, S8ul
अभी एक तो hero
really
पड़े
made a
लो
better
से पड़े
setup
अलग ना
there.
पड़े.
The fact of the matter is, right now, they've got the genius roll, they've got the genius
Dice.
roll, a lot of damage. There goes Apex inside the tower, tier 2, getting the kill on bid. A very stationary mage, obviously, that's going to be a big caveat for that. For bid, obviously.
Only come on fast kill dan.
Also
The game dan game fast kill
that's
zo.
the point of the utility jungler. You invade it, and there goes. I think that fight's gonna happen. At least a much. There goes the tectonic charge. Misses. Alright, what are you doing? So Anti gets that turtle, and we've got Lance.
Don give the timer give the don.
More coming through. We've got the petrify and also the knockup from.
쪽 부르죠 부르.
That's gonna lead to another one. Anti is stacking up those stacks onto that sky pierce.
부르 비빌 가지고.
It's like stealing candy from a baby.
Stealing candy from a baby is the right expression for this, because if you ask me, GodLike are put themselves in this predicament. They have completely fell for the trap coming in. Look at Bid, he's not able to do anything. He goes down. It all came down to the nice draft that they kind of went for. It's unconventional, but it works.
걔나 말이다.
Of this
Ruby
Mars to
Martini.
make sure the mortal coil comes out so the Lancelot cannot escape, and you need an executioner, and that's what they've been doing. Look at their kill score, 2-2 and 8 from Apex on this Khalid. He's applying the pressure. At this point, he has the region to make sure he comes out alive. They're able to put down pressure where it hurts. Abi, he's looking to get into the back line. He has the Ruby DD combo. He dives straight in, 5-0-6 at this point. Anti's getting kills. They've got kills left, right, and center. The goalie right now is 5,000. And at this 5,000 deficit for GodLike, they need to find a way to try and close the gap. They do not have the damage. They're lacking. They want to be in these team fights. They can get the wombo combos in, but the focus is not enough, as Bid is not allowed to breathe whatsoever. 1-4-2. This is not looking good. They need to find a way to get some advantage, because S8ul love to go for a brawl.
Hey, yo, and look at that.
Gece dedim markalar lütfen
I feel like with the lack of marksman not being there on both teams, they are definitely going to rely on team fights to actually put the pressure onto each other, obviously. But GodLike are not able to actually
Minions ignavi na ball ranger la dragon ara khali dase la
S8ul really have this insane amount of dive. They already
Martis to bench
already put so much
Next game Martis bench
I think GodLike will be able to come back from. This is going to be very difficult. Look at the bot lane in itself, man. Guinevere positioning himself to make sure that his teammate Anti will not
Joseph Jungler bishi balo sa.
and that is exactly what just happened. Anti was able to run
Yo,
away.
tala ego je.
Kakarot was giving the vision, and Art, Rom,
Kinar kisi dan. S8ul kan kinar kisi
couldn't
kisi.
really do anything in that position, man.
Saya dan lagi kinar kisi kisi ne hambal be shula.
Already being pushed away. They already started Lord Dance
Finals
is in effect. Kakarot looking to dive onto bid.
Charda stick to na dige.
GodLike being pushed back. Lord resets.
finals
S8ul looking to chase them down.
Oh yeah, Charda
looking for
best of 7 on dige, best of 7 on.
Barrett comes out at the right time. Apex goes over the back line. They're looking for something at this point. They get it.
Apex
looking
bajis
for
ko.
arms. Wait, Tech Charge
Ah,
not there,
yeah,
but the Lord
Radium
wants
aja.
to use a nice Tech Charge with a flicker captain 3 members. But Radium's in the sky with the giant
Ah, yeah.
retribution. Kakarot kept it. No better excuse to make up.
Ah, Radium na paro hai na. Saya level 13 hai, saya level 10 hai.
Radium gets a double. That's 2 friends.
Wipe out
Just give him that double.
Wipe out.
At this point, they get a full 5-man wipe out. The Ricos are coming in. And S8ul dominate game number 1 and caught GodLike by surprise.
S8ul to pura revenge mood teise danna.
Even if the spatial migration missed, it is the fact that Vance third was not higher, like
Ek bar bhi nahi ho,
equal
2 team
to
mar
levels
show.
as obviously Kakarot, and that just led to that retribution being easy,
Oye, Naru.
safe, and done for the side of team S8ul.
Oh, testing
Able to
Grazan.
get tier 3 in a mid lane, and hey, let's just face it, dude.
Lui
The
na
fact
kilala
that
ko na
Mortis is
Rayla.
running killing spree is allowing him to actually go inside the tower, gain HP back, and walk out. That was
Tala drop छैन म BSR हो कि drop गर्छ.
engaged in this pressure building situation for the side of team GodLike.
That's another Ruby Didi Kuzili with Murgoro, so-
Even get out of their base at this point.
Well, a base, I don't know, man. We're less than 12 minutes in. I don't even know if this
Oh,
holy
Martis.
shield is working. You can see already getting a pick on Van. And it's coming at the right time. Now it's a 5v4. The next wave, they're already clashing in. Final slash comes in on top of Apex, but he's not the right target. He uses Raging Sandstorm to go away. But Art with a
Oh, shit,
tech
go on,
charge.
go on, go on,
I'm
go on.
not sure if GodLike are playing the same game. It's
Go on,
completely
go on.
disconnected. S8ul have gotten into their head. The base crystal is exposed. But S8ul have done the job that they came for. Throw a wrench in the plan.
Tan pura prepared aise to bhai.
And now they're scattered. They don't know what to do. They're scrambling at this point. And they're looking for answers. They're turning towards each other. But where is it coming from? The control tower bridge has lost his head. He's 1-5-2.
Wait, I'm more confused, I'm more curious actually, at the fact that Khalid just used Raging Sandstorm to cross over to the wall, on the top side. He wasn't able to because I think Rock actually put the earthen part.
Crucifix
in a
lying next
position
to Musazo.
where I wouldn't actually, think that would stop Khalid.
Let's
So does
let us
Khalid
test the
actually get
07
stopped the moment he actually gets CC'd during Raging Sandstorm? I don't believe
Okay,
that
to
because
the
obviously
show,
Raging Sandstorm is giving him
Kita
control.
la sabi na punto.
But in that given moment,
Aya,
he was
Khalid-
stopped completely.
Khalid-
Khalid aro dragon ase sure it wait for result.
Right now.
Aya Khalid la against the Hilda khilyo Hilda.
I feel like that whole team fight just ended with an absolute chaos.
Early na move piano
Na pare. Tala rotation do na pare. Khatam masni. Khatam meaning war nahi hai. Meaning war nahi hai.
And the combo of the Furious dive.
Se beshi maru hai.
Oh my goodness.
Meaning
he
maru
is
hai.
a maniac.
Enki-
Anti.
Endi la idu ske mana je. Fourth time aja da hara hai.
Kakarot dives into the base crystal. S8ul dominate game number 1 in this best of 7.
Damn it, man, I believe in it, GodLike and their potential. But Levine, against that kind of composition, even I would actually be surprised to actually lose a game, dude. That is an absolute evil composition right there. That's absolutely like, I'm gonna
Khatam.
invade your jungle and you can't do nothing about it.
Time load on
I'm
nahi
gonna jump you inside your tower and you can't do nothing about it.
Koi done is whole or not
That is
deep in
literally what
wishes.
just happened. That was an absolute one-sided massacre.
ki marshal dan.
around 5 to 6 minutes.
That was a prediction coming through as well. They took out the Isun Shin,
Claude
gave
using
them
the
the
Dida for you.
Esmeralda, knowing that they picked the Esmeralda so that Bid can have a good time in the mid lane with this Eve being picked up, and it works like clockwork for GodLike.
Guniva or Dragon
And
first pick
instantly
Gurso.
locking down this Guinevere, use that spatial migration, jump to the back line during the RWM phase. Even though you're not susceptible to CC, you definitely can dish out the damage with Violent Requiem, and you have this
Valorant
Yuzhong being picked up
drafting
that
them
can- during the RWM phase, even though you're not susceptible to CC,
Valorant
you
like
definitely
what?
can dish out
Valorant
the
kill
damage
like
with Violent
background
Requiem, and you have this Yuzhong being picked up that
minus
can dive straight to the back line.
1940
locking down this Guinevere, use that spatial migration,
Turn
jump
draft
to
करो हम
the mid lane with this Eve being picked up during
minus
the
minus
RWM
1940
phase.
there.
Even though
Valorant
you're
kill
not
ratio ಅದು.
susceptible to CC, you definitely can dish out the damage with Violent Requiem, and you have this
सब auto दे रखी ना
being
चीज़
picked up that can dive straight into the back line with the Black Dragon form. And for
What did they ban, man?
Radiant when you really well, and GodLike fell into that trap without even seeing what was
ताई तो
coming.
इन्हें drafting लगाई थी शायद इधर
And
Valorant किलो जा
it
सके ना
only
किला
translates into the next
Chill
phase of
as
the draft.
Kuna
Looking
je
at all
production
the
ne.
early game picks that they can go
Aura
for.
farm Grizz dai.
Leomord's taken off, so Van might be looking to pick up the Lancelot. But if I was S8ul,
Oh, Leo or Kalya
don't
Marche.
leave it open, man. Just ban it out. The Lancelot, you don't want troubles. Yes, there's a Fanny that
जोसेफ
great
करने
as
फेडरेट में
well.
देखी थे उठाने दो
Now you pick your poison. Which is the one hero that you're going to take?
50-50 draft pala tournament sa ball na gameplay.
To crowd control. They've already got the Guinevere.
oh when la Fanny Ben Martis था
They're going to go for Khalid against GodLike in the early game. The look tempo of the game. But come on.
Like,
Martis last pick Gursidan
assault,
Acha.
full-on assault from the side of Team S8ul late mode. Look at that, dude. Esmeralda against Radium as if Zong was in the goal lane. It's
आगिशी तो गेम तो आगिशी
about the possibility of a Yuzong.
अरे वार्म अप है देखा नहीं
He
वार्म
actually
अप
did
देखा
it. He put the Yuzong in the
Leo-
goal
Leo
lane
kasi balo
and
na isi,
kind of
dali ben
stomped on the Esmeralda. I'm kind of surprised there. But hey, the biggest mention here, Guinevere absolutely invading and making sure
Carry होते ना पिताओ लगे हो
did not have any farm.
GodLike
That is the point of picking a utility jungler.
Carry free like shit right there.
Early game dominance in the enemy's jungle.
MM like ले अलग तो पौधे जान ले आ mid बिया Gursidan
Nay carry tayo ko na early game.
itu ka early game mid pro biya Gursido itu ka hilda था gile match up all up kro part
This guy is absolutely insane in the jungle. Best jungler in India. Not me saying it. The other junglers from different teams are saying it. Of course, GodLike would like to prove otherwise. Van would definitely contest for that title. But at the moment, regardless of what GodLike has achieved, with all that GodLike have done, with Van showing,
जोसेफ लो jungle तो बीस ही बाला जो अलग बाला जे deny कर ली ना
done this multiple times before.
माने क्यों मैं deny कर ली मतलब जोसेफ लो jungle
Joseph,
ठीक ही लगे सबसे best है मला सबसे तो
He
इंडिया दे
has been at the tip top of his mountain for a while.
ताई नहीं ले तो अलग तो नहीं नहीं ना तो
Internally,
feeling है
players know it. In the scrims, players know it. Right? And now when it matters the most, the only kind of problem I would say he really had was to showcase that in an offline stage. And Van is a demon on the offline stage. And Kakarot now, having the right pieces around him, knowing
I
what to
think
do.
they can win guys let's see how it goes this advertisement
The gold lane. He's not in the picture here. The rich guy, the
Kuno
carry,
logic
the
all right.
sandbag, the wingman, you can see Ansi,
Zombie.
the rich guy, on a Martis
Magalo logic.
EXP. Absolutely insane. I never thought to see an EXP lane in Martis, to be honest.
timeline hello
But what Radium did in this game, by
GodLike
picking
first
up
game हार गया
Yuzhong,
भाई
is give that flexibility to the rest of his team. And
Huh?
that's one thing I like about this player. He's willing to take a back
देख रहा था
seat when he
तुम call में
needs
क्यों
the
नहीं आए तो
others to shine. Right, that's what Radium does. But when the team needs him the most,
हो गया खाना खा
he
लिया
is there front and center, and he is one of the pillars of S8ul. And oh my
भाई S8ul
goodness,
aura
did he
farm कर रहे हैं
showcase
भाई
that
आज
in this game by
Apex
not
पूरा
even
mood बना
doing
गया है
a
भाई
lot. He just let everyone else take reign.
Hey, yo, you're not actually giving him
Acha.
credit, man. I think picking the Yuzong kind of like denied Yuzong. He's godlike to
ठीक है ऐसे ओके शो अरे जापान में आईफोन इंपोर्ट करूँ ना की तो आ करूँ ना के शो
I think that's all calculated.
Game ka lang gano'n eh? Red check ka na?
But you know,
Huh?
Red check.
so it's all calculated. I think the Yuzong not being there on
Ay, uso yung magyan, di ka.
to them, that kind of like
Six to
bit. But overall, I think that Yuzong
Red check mo na.
brings
Ay,
Radiant
mas na red check lang kini
in
huwag.
his bag. But again, the rich guy title obviously goes to Martin. This guy had 12 kills, 1 death, 5 assists, and this guy had like 5.
Ricardo you call डालो होता है venue देख लो
almost done building his last item, I believe.
Ricardo the venue there is though. Ricardo venue pe though.
Whichever he wanted. I think it's more like
Oh Ricardo.
Ricardo.
Luna बोल के एक तो player खेलता था ना हम लोग Luna.
I keep getting that confused. Prolific Roar. I believe that was the last item because obviously arc with that rock sync is going to be a big problem too.
ताई online है सुरा.
And you know what though? One thing.
भाई कब start करेगा भाई?
Watch out for.
ए but draft बहुत गंदा किया था ना वो लोग. Timeline. Draft तो इतना घटिया लगा हुआ मेरे को.
लेकिन अगर थोड़ा बहुत तेरे मोड पे खेल लेता तो उन्होंने ग्राफ इतना अच्छा होता
GodLike 4-2. That's why GodLike kind of stated themselves or the nickname.
अरे वो थोड़ा ना ये सोल लगा तो ठीक ही था ठीक ठाक ही था बोलने से लेट गेम में अच्छा था अर्ली टू मिड भी अच्छा है मिड टू लेट भी अच्छा है लोगों बट इसका देखना ये लोगों तो पूरा मिड टू लेट है तो भाई अर्ली के तो वही नहीं है लोगों पास
लेकिन वो लोग भी सोल भी फुल एग्रेसिव खेल रहा ना
मुझे आई थिंक
उन लोग का लेट पोस्ट जैसे लेट पोस्ट ने दिखा
ओए ये कौन है भाई बैकग्राउंड तेरा टाइमलाइन तेरा बैकग्राउंड भाई बहुत गंदा नॉइस
Yes, that's why I'm gonna turn off my mic.
अरे माइक ऑफ नहीं करे तो क्या बात करेगा भाई
क्योंकि guys, now we're gonna play the best game of the universe.
वेलोरेंट खेलने जा रहे हैं
Or they are going to make sure that they actually play play around maybe wall try to get that skill.
क्यों बैन कर दिया
Oh God, pick the mark.
Oh, we are at draft. GG. Let's go.
Well, hey,
Wait, draft
let's
kar rahe ho,
move
ye
on
log
from
draft kar
that.
rahe ho.
Look at the draft that's already underway for game number 2.
Flying
S8ul
clothes
is
though.
on the blue side.
Isma ben mari
On the red, we have GodLike, of course. We can see Guinevere, Yuzhong, and
S8ul
S8ul
Ben mari
banned out
when you
from
were
S8ul.
dragging
So
them.
now they probably want to play a hero that they want to play in the back line.
Respect.
See if they
No,
can
S8ul
execute that.
mari
GodLike
chuka.
on the other side, going with the similar bans that took place on
Good
the
luck.
red side the previous game. Tushin,
था
the
नीचे
Katira,
नीचे
and
Ben mari
now
chuka.
with the Boxia that they had banned out previously. This feels
Fredrin
like
Evni,
GodLike have come with a
Fredrin
set
Evni,
strategy,
mula sabte.
right? With looking at
That's
the
about
fence
Fredrin
there.
though, ai
Yeah,
ya.
but Freya is open. I agree.
India
Freya's
la
left
most
open. I
annoying
think
Fredrin
GodLike
है.
kind of went for a gamble. Can Radiant really play the Freya? That's the big question.
Oh, Freya,
to ask
Freya.
here. And he says, you know what? Even if I can't play it best, I'm not going to give it to the hands of fate. So Freya in the gold lane for S8ul. And GodLike now needs to respond. What are they going to respond with? No Esmeralda.
भाई गुन्नी वार से खेला उसने इस पर.
Freya. They need someone that can kite the Freya. They need someone who can burst down. Maybe go for a Kalea.
retreat भी देख
Plays
सकते
it
हैं.
really well. Pair it up maybe with a Luna if they can in the middle lane. Get something so big that's not so stationary because S8ul have kind of figured it out. It's a Kalea and Yi Sun Shin. In the goal lane, in the jungle, it's been flexed for quite some time now. We're going to find out soon.
काका तो बंगाली है ना ये जोसेफ कहाँ से आ गया
Overall, because I think that he has got the dashes, he's got CC immunity, he's got also the damage. Obviously, I think
ये कौन खा रहा है भाई चपक चपक चपक
I think Freya might actually have a tough time in the early games. So he's something akin to
क्या कर रहा है भाई?
and he does his job pretty good. Him being able to actually dominate the
टाइमलाइन ऐसा मत खाओ ना भाई पूरा खड़ा
a big threat in the goal lane, especially knowing
फोन भी खाने वाला है
So I think that overall Freya might actually have that
ओए नॉइस कैंसलेशन का माइक चलाओ ना भाई तुम लोग क्या करते हो भाई
range advantage. And also the kit that actually kind of like counters a bit of whatever Freya can actually bring to the table. But hey, let's not sleep on the fact that Kalea was picked up.
One go, Vices दे दो.
They've got the second pick, so obviously when it was kept open,
Well,
so
yeah.
Freya was on their side. Now it's up to Society S8ul to decide
अरे ब्रूक्स है ना
who
ब्रूक्स
to pick.
ब्रूक्स सुंदर दिया जगह
Open,
अच्छा
heroes that
वो
can
व्हाइट
actually
शर्ट वाला
jump on
प्राइम
the
ब्रूक है
line of, like, you know, heroes like
रेफरी दो व्हाइट शर्ट रेफरी दो टी-शर्ट ब्रूक है ब्रूक प्राइम ब्रूक
Yeah, I think the Hilda is a great shout, right? I believe that Apex can definitely play the Hilda as well. So Hilda's got to come through, give the Isunshin a tough time, but also you kind of put the Kalea and the Pekla. You're really going to go and pick up the Hilda as soon as she comes in to make sure the Isunshin has a good time in the jungle. But again, at this moment, looks like it's going to be a flex. And as you can see, folks,
ले सकते हो लोग फिर कल या फिर हिल्दा ले
an issue on the pause that has been done in the draft phase for by the teams. I'm not sure what the reason is. We'll get back to you as soon as we get that. But yeah, I mean,
big fan. Hello, crank. Hello. Thanks for joining. Big fan. अरे
it started, folks. It started.
अरे timeline तेरा mic mute करना एक बार के लिए जब बात करेगा
I've seen Looney Tunes, but I'm not seeing a little crucifix.
तो क्यों ना माइक तू
मेरा माइक म्यूट ही है भाई, मेरे को कर नहीं दे रहा है। मैं
तो कौन है zombies नहीं है zombies नहीं है तो
You can't see it. You can't see it. Speaking of
कि
Genjutsu,
तूला दरवाजा खोला खाला
I
आवाज
heard
सुनी तो
the new skin is coming, bro.
ऐसे
All right.
मुझे
Is it going to be Itachi? Is
Earpiece लगाना है,
Itachi
earpiece लगाने के लिए ना लगाए तो।
into the game?
See, who you supporting? I'm supporting GodLike only, bro. But I don't know. S8ul will win. I feel like that.
Very soon.
GodLike because Beat was my old squad mate and Fate is my friend, bro, since way 2018.
Collaborations that many people would love. So make sure
It was a
that you
counter-pick
actually
ball
keep yourself
over,
ready
so-
for that time. Hey, talking about that, the fans have resumed and we
Neutral control, normal counter touchdown.
I like the combo of the
I don't know
King
why I
and
feel like
Gacha,
the NT will full fire
and I
because
think
he
it's
was little
making
emotional
sure
last
you
time
have
on
a
the lane.
fail-safe, right?
I was with
Making
him now.
sure you have an
Kun
insurance
ND.
policy. If
ND,
the spray
ND.
is not able to snowball
ND
the
mate.
lane, which should
Oh,
not be possible,
ND will
it should
never
happen,
ND.
but still, why risk it? Make
Okay,
sure
Mola,
you
Mola,
get damage
Mola,
in the mid lane.
Mola,
from
Mola,
Skimmy. Give Apex some sort of an
Bro,
AoE.
give this is again.
Roamer that can really
Alright, Gato
face
UFT
check
counter-
pushes
Gato
quite a
UFT
lot,
counter
can
good in a
provide
way.
a lot of vision, can cover some ground, can tank the hits.
I got to-
They're okay
I
with it, can even
got to
reach
give
the
a
back
roll,
line
yeah,
if he
counter
needed
race,
to.
Took
And instantly though, GodLike still sticking to what they know. and
Hasis
what
dan to
works.
draft pick
Those
kone Hasis dan.
for
Idu
you.
tan
And you can take a look as
ganja
well.
khaina
The
nahi hola
players
ajibe.
are laughing.
Hey,
That's
ML
a
growing
good
big.
sign,
Yeah,
right,
busy draw. Yes, bro.
It's
Yes,
a
bro.
really good sign knowing that no matter what
Don't
happens, in
mal
game
marna
one,
nahi lage
they're
aise.
okay. They're
Aki
not
video
really that
sorry,
phased.
sorry.
They've shaken it off.
Keep
It's
it
a
crazy.
game. They're excited. They're ready to go into the next game.
What they are
And,
picking, guys? What is this?
They're not mentally
Gato
affected.
counters Eve. Gato counters this.
It is a good sign.
Kalia as well.
I feel like inside the team GodLike, they've got a
Are they high on
solid
steroids
depth right
today?
now. They've got the Eve, they've got the zone.
Manuel Kali.
They've got the Kalea.
Yeah, when you last
Tayo
minute.
pa na last minute thesis na.
Or into the side of Team GodLike's, influence. I think in the map they're gonna have.
Itu Jonathan Labay. Itu Jonathan Labay. Itu Jonathan Labay. Itu Jonathan Labay. Card itu koda koda.
Very
GodLike la jersey lagana kado. Audience te buda kado.
there was any pull by Kalea.
Bala se chokra bala se. Chokra je
Very uncomfortable spot for them. They've got Freya who can actually use Valkyrie's descent and AOG
go, keep it rolling.
by Gata Kasha. They can breach the
Gimme.
gap instantly.
Yeah.
Kimmy can always be safe. That's a hero that can actually have Purify on her and still actually do a lot of damage. So we gotta make sure that we
Email
actually
growing
see
big,
this
yes, sir.
Bilhin ki pa chinasa.
If not, then I think GodLike might actually just have.
Lapo.
But if they do play it pretty safe, they're still gonna have the
Oh,
opportunity
CC,
to
CC,
engage or re-engage whenever they want. And the side of Team GodLike, surprisingly, like you.
Oi, ND la CCV balas de. ND la CCV balas de.
Yep.
They
They got
got
into their
Robert
heads,
Tony,
man. I
Xavier
told
Mola.
you about it. They don't want to deal with it whatsoever. PTSD coming through. Especially if I was Bit or Van, like, nah, bro. The discussion was probably like, you know what, guys? We kind of need to ban out EXP laner. Maybe Yu Zhang is
Yeah,
already
itu
taking out
Caster kan la face to hai.
taking ourselves.
Caster kan la face to mo bal dikhe je. Player kan la face to mo lotor dikhe je. Kili ho.
I do not want to deal with that Martis once again. It doesn't matter. I don't want to take. I don't even want the option for them to try and pick that up. So Martis banned out, traumatized the mid laner and the jungler of GodLike, and now instantly they go back into another into a jungle ban. Look at the Fredrin. Okay, I think Fredrin's a good
Joseph
man
Lairo,
against,
Joseph Lairo more.
Kakarot.
Budo-
Kakarot
Budo
really
Leomord
likes
la
playing
game
the
diga,
Fredrin.
Budo.
It's one of his favorite heroes from what he told me. Bro's been hitting the gym so much as well. Probably that's why
Ki ne?
he's
Why
taking
is
it.
golden channel Leomord jungle bhi thawar de. Thikana nahi de. Ki kure Indian server de bhai. Indian server bhai.
Soul ni to na. Leomord piya na ho. Itya ni to. Itya la pressure set.
S8ul can go for Leomord, guys. Let's see.
This guy's carrying like tons of equipment.
Yeah, but they are tones, man. They can even go for something like
it's actually
Akai also,
shown
man,
that
it will work.
they're
Anything will work. They can cancel everything.
That's gotta be something.
They have damage, they have sustain, they have everything, bro.
And I think that
And they don't have
actually
melting
inspired most
heroes
guys to actually
on
come
this
to the
side,
gym or
godlike side.
do workouts at
Crucifix,
least,
sound
Let's see
like
what
you
their
sound
goal
like
goal
you're
lane
jealous,
is.
bro.
kind of.
Kinda.
Mas gulos na go na like as yung feeling tayo.
Wait, a feeling like talaga.
Yeah,
Haji
I don't know, bro.
ta
I've been
feeling like
playing for
is.
quite some time. But either way, look at the ban on the other side, though. Carry
is
being
it?
taken off, making sure Radium's having a difficult time.
Labo, I want
This
to know,
Shin
Labo,
still kinda
aram se
flexed.
maro.
I mean, usually you like to see him in
Labo
the
nili CCI
jungle,
wo.
right?
CC ile
That's
counter
where
ase.
I would
So
prefer,
for
but
counter
at
word
this
CC wa.
point, with the way things have been shaping up, Kelra kind of played it
Ben
in
is
the
it?
goal lane.
Oh, wait, oh.
Radium's tried it in the goal lane, made it
Okay,
work.
CC is Ben. Okay, okay. Oh, this advertise noob advertise.
Oh, Elise.
Elise aje.
Elise.
It's being picked up in the hands of Romcom and the
Sure.
Arc. So, yeah, you get a global vision with that. Instantly, Alice, they want to dive once again. At least this time they have a little
backline
bit
no
of
jashi
front
tala.
line going with the idea that godlike won in the previous game. Have up
No.
dish out
Godlike
damage.
draft hare aje.
But, you know, Alice diving in with that
It's not yung more
Throne
dollars
of Ruin. Oh, no. It smells like trouble for godlike.
No. Elise pra kai do. Gator jam maro Elise gusuo khotom
I think
hadan
it's Kalea.
na paro.
Possible. You're
Ina na kimi ra pok do free jana mar do ni.
half mermaid,
Pagalan
half
sa maro free do.
sea serpent. I don't know, man. What is Kalea?
단 미디엄 kumbi kimi na bunjo kalya flicker na thage dokko.
If S8ul lose this game, that means they are bad team, bro. They are not good enough with this draft.
Obviously, Focus is gonna get himself a passive, and repeatedly, bro is gonna get shields for days, man.
Out drop kaje. Godlike out drop kaje.
Ooh.
We've got Sora in the gold lane and Decent Shin in the jungle.
No.
Yeah, I like the Sora, but now you're really putting a lot of pressure on Van. as
Godlike
well.
is out drafted,
You have
guys.
Leomord
Very bad draft.
Go for an invade. You have Alice, the Freya, the Gakacha. Again, S8ul look very invasive with their lineup, and Godlike want to have their sides win out in the early game so they can have their jungler scale up to the mid game point, have consistent damage.
First game drop him drop
But they need to survive this early game onslaught.
Pick off come there.
Looking like themselves, if I may,
Pick off
if
come
I
there,
may
this
say
is kilo
so.
doesn't win. I
Maybe
mean,
a
Shiva,
shift
oi,
in the way that
DPS
they're
kilo
playing,
doesn't.
adapting to the style of their new coach, maybe learning new things and kind of forgetting what
Gusto na
their
tali, bujezo.
original identity was with the early game lineup they always went with. But this time, the aggressors.
Farsa balo. Oro bishejo.
There is something really wrong with that's drafting.
Kagura takmi chulo. Kagura chulo. Kagura be kimi kaido paro. Bui kaido kimi amule.
There's something that's not working for them. There's some cog in the whole.
Michael Kagura bisli tak bishe.
Actually turning. S8ul, they've got a really good draft. They've got Alice to jump in, Throne of Ruin. They've got AOG from Gap.
Kagura bal dekho. Godlike ne.
Has Barbarol just
Yip
charging
na.
at him, and then they mount together and then they just.
Oso kasi Kagura bishi bal dekho na.
And then
Tanlo kom.
And to top it all off, they've got.
Kimi haram se kaido kimi aiwo na paro osor.
They're not even
Osor le
trying
Kagura
out
combo
the
hale bui
as
hawo de.
well.
Ngana Freya ge burst kuro
Don't get me
paro.
wrong, I can't understand it, but GodLike really has this composition that does not actually have any synergy within themselves. I believe that, Sora...
Pick off hero de DPS jaase DPS hero de
It's
oro.
not gonna work together as a...
YSS jaaseo.
No, I would agree. In terms of what Kalea has done, rightfully, usually has to offer that big tsunami swing. But there's nobody to fall back.
Move
There's not
buji.
enough burst
Kala
damage
pick off
coming
kuro
from
fed
Godlike.
janal di
That's
maram.
what you're looking at. Not having enough burst, that is an
Ito,
Achilles
if-
heel
if
of
S8ul
Godlike
loses
in
this na,
game, but
ah.
S8ul know what they want. They want to dive in. They just want to go
Harley
gung
doje,
ho,
gorge je,
go
why
for
lane
the
mi nikili
jugular
wo mo dosa
straight
baje.
up to make sure they can get
Ina
that
biya
early
draft ra
pressure
imam bal
down,
draft
as they
dominate
did
kone
with
hare
game
se
number
do.
one. This is game
Game
number
nikala
2
bala
best
je
of
tan.
7.
Kiwa jaja bala je.
IQ, S8ul,
Or gorge jaja bala
Godlike,
je.
who's
Hero
gonna
le.
come out as victors already.
Ooh,
Radium
Fate
on the
mar
top
gaise.
side giving Fate a difficult time after cutting the lane, and now you can see the pressure into the jungle of Godlike, and they need to absorb this pressure if they can even reach that mid game
bar,
power
yo,
spike that
D10
they
bar,
like.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. They're not actually trying to engage.
Kimi wa dite bola je pok.
Kimmy, I couldn't believe, at least Asuna could have
Top 10 cover kya.
the enemy, forced them to go back if possible.
Top 10 झगड़ा के लिए दिखा दो. कुन जो cameraman.
Try to play a
जल्दी focus करो.
try to not do much to the enemy, like trying to, test the waters overall. I believe that that's what they're trying to do. Nobody's trying to do nothing at this point of the game. The first match obviously shook them to the core, and decided Team GodLike don't really want to make any mistakes in the early game.
And you know what, GodLike though as an organization, throughout, they haven't really got the big ones, right? They haven't really gotten the big ones. They've been fighting for titles in different games. They've been looking to always try and get to the top. Always short, sometimes beaten by S8ul. In ML, they have reached the top. They won the Mythic Show in Season 2. One of their first titles ever after being in the scene for quite a long time. So naturally, this team is expected to kind of win, but you can see the taunt already coming out from Apex and S8ul. Hey man, they've been beaten once before. I feel like they're not going to be beaten once again if this continues. However, now you can see GodLike have kind of found their structure, found their shape into the turtle pit. You can see Turtle is up, Mountain Shocker being used, Bit is going to be the target, goes in, oh my god.
Oh, nice, nice.
Gets it down, Art into the back line, zone it away, be as much as possible.
Yeah, Art, nice. Nice one, Fate.
Get the 2v1 down, has been surviving with 1 HP for the longest of times, and now gets on top of Radiant. It's a 2v1. And now Radiant has to run away under the tower of the opposition. I'm not sure if he's able to do that. He makes it out. No, he does not. Van able to get that kill. 4-2 in the hands of GodLike. They have found their footing, and now we're looking to convert this into objectives.
Surprisingly, even though they actually got 2 extra kills, it's only like 300 gold, that they have additionally. It's not actually that big of a gap. Really have an opportunity to turn it around. But I think the way that they're playing is actually
split composition kill. Oh, nice ulti.
AOG in the air. Now it's got to be a top with the coming down with Kakarot, absolutely demolishing the front line. Fate's gonna stop. He's gonna make sure Kakarot's out of the picture. Gets the kill. Asuna too, and he's gonna go off with Phobius to get the kill on God, Freya comes in too late. Radium is not actually there in time, but at the end of the day, he is able to stop Art and his domination, but Bid is going to stop Radium, who came up pretty darn late. That did not work well for the side of Team S8ul.
Yeah, 2-0-3 in the hands of Van. He's been doing well on this Sora. Able to get that early aggressive kills now. And I think GodLike have tilted S8ul, flip the script. 1.5k goal lead in their favor. They are comfortable now. They're where they wanted to be. They were caught by surprise in game number 1. They prepared mentally for game number 2. And now S8ul need to find opportunities. Oh no, speaking of opportunities, they get a Purify at the right time. From that Tsunami Slam being used by Art, but that's 80 seconds of not having that Purify, and that means the next turtle is not going to be having it. The Tsunami Slam, however, does have a lower cooldown.
Right, I mean, the most important things, obviously, being the battle spells. These are additional spells that you get with your original hero spells that allow you to actually evade maybe spells that actually
nice flipper.
Oh, talking about that, they've got Steed, but trying to escape that. It's a good decision, but overall, I think that the flicker might have actually been more important. Turtle spawning in 30 seconds.
30 seconds. I think that 30 seconds plenty for them to decide where they want to be, how they're going to make this happen, how they're going to position themselves, knowing that GodLike already have the lead. But I said you are not shying away. They do have powerful ultimates. They have hit the point where they can pick a fight, even though they're down in terms of gold, especially if Anti makes it to the fray. It's going to be difficult for GodLike to try and find an opening. And already, there you can see S8ul looking down at the turtle.
Right now we've got Bid. Tsunami Slam already connecting on the enemy backline. We've got Abi getting taken down. We've got Phantom Seed running in. And that's a big problem here. But the second skill of Kalea connecting, that's going to be Art taking a lot of damage instead. We've got Freya doing with that. But the side of Team GodLike, they might actually just attempt to the Lord.
Bad play from Radium, guys.
Engaging just yet.
Well, a rom-com is there trying to zone out the rest of the members. GodLike this time get their hands on this turtle. It's 2 turtles in their pocket now. S8ul, we spoke about it earlier. Those battle spells were important. Using the Purifier early on, baiting the Purifier early on from the side of S8ul's Abi. And instantly Art knew who the target was supposed to be. Went for it, got the target, converted that to an objective, and now GodLike have also got the tower on the top side. It has been mirrored by S8ul on the bot side, but Radium taking one on the far lane. But here, GodLike 10-5, looking at their itemization. He's got a Dreadnought armor, building a dominance ice. Rom-com is going to be a force to be reckoned with now with the amount of physical damage that's coming out on the other side. They're okay to take it. However, I think it's all up to Abi. Is he able to scale? Went for a first item, Sky Piercer. Yes, you want to go for a kidney, but you're lacking the damage early on that you're needed. No, goes for a Tsunami Slam this time, but not catching the right target. RWM comes in as well. AOG going straight on top of him. They're trying to make something happen, but they get the tier 1 in the mid lane. Radium has to run away. The Valkyrie descent was used. Kakarot just using the Phantom Steed to disengage.
He just used the Phantom Steed so he can go back to jungling, dude. That's exactly what he was thinking. I know what he was thinking. Just walk out in style, man. That's the best course of action position. They've got the bot tower tier 1. They're over-exerting themselves in these team fights. I believe they're pretty good. But I see that the exertion like they're actually kind of like trying to make this, make everything the amount of Chucker used to steal the blue buff from the side of team S8ul. It's kind of reversed now because obviously GodLike were the ones losing up on their farm. But now it's going to be S8ul that's going to be on their farm. That's going to put them in the back
3 second PC gonna 8 15 16 17
21, 22, 23.
18 days muna 19 ene 1 second hold gonna off and on gonna 26 27 28 29 30 31
I don't know, they're spoken about at this point. The Lord is up. I think GodLike turned their attention to the Lord. I feel like they're looking for a pickoff, knowing that they have a Purifier on the other side. They can't go for a Kakarot or the Phantom Steed. I don't think that was the right call.
Easy Lord for
and
GodLike.
now IQ S8ul are forced to
But
go
I
for an
think
engage.
Apex
GodLike understands the big
contest.
ultimate's
I
not
said
available.
contest.
Rom-com
No,
zoning out
they're
the
trying to
members by
contest with
themselves.
they're not giving room.
Hey, 4 years long, they are sub killer.
Honestly though, I
850 there's not 850 there's not
really engage in that turtle fight.
9 1 2 3 4
Kakarot was not actually interested in engaging. Obviously, they've got a big difference in terms of amount of
9, 10, 11, 12.
How do I put it?
Hey.
The amount of towers that are up through the side of the team.
GodLike was just playing around in the first game, I guess. But this draft is like favoring to S8ul, man. If S8ul was losing with such a dominant draft, I don't know if later games, bro. I think they should just go home.
Late game with Abki Guaro. I know. Down the Wises are you, was it?
Kanla late game kimi glass though.
Yep, the Lord is going to be charging on the tier 2 R, charging the
Nice.
This time he goes to Dark Wave coming connecting his
Really not enough damage.
back line, goes to the Valkyrie, December
Priya
doesn't have
Murje.
damage.
Oh,
Manny, but gets that
nice.
kill.
They were
Fantasy coming
nice.
out so the right
Oh,
time,
beat
but
nice.
Fantasy
Oh.
beautifully with the RWM.
Apex nice.
Pro.
Pro.
Get one more.
Oh, nice.
It's
Hindi
a
multi to.
trade. It's a 3-for-1. And Apex wants to go in.
Oh, got to the jumble,
The
isn't it?
lobby is too much. They make
Tala
that a
Tony ball
3-for-2.
Gamana.
GodLike dove in along with the
No,
Lord, but
ಇದು ND la follow up
S8ul
PC
were
ball
ready.
lashe.
And
Mona
they
disi
were
dara.
ready to defend. The Lord is already taken down 10 minutes in. A successful defense coming out. And they bridged the gap from a 5
Kaya na nagiwan na gila na Lupsi counter grade na ref kito. Manli tingin na yun sa ito.
नहीं मतलब तन ना ग्रुप फाइट ना बरो वाले स्प्लिट करना तन फाइट किना फोर्स करी ना GodLike रो इना के लिए तो GodLike ही जितो इंडिविजुअल हीरो तन ला बालस तो
But Bid and everyone, they actually put them in the kill box. It did not work out for the side of Team GodLike because that kill box
Apex kana तो इंडिविजुअल हीरो खाली रीडिंग क्लास है
they
सोलो
didn't
जितो
actually
पाड़ा
have an
तो
opening to actually escape.
Yeah, Ben, good job,
I
yeah.
think
Follow-
S8ul
careful is over there.
performing very well under the
Mal marna
pressure
jala.
that they're in. And the side of Team GodLike, they're actually kind of crumbling slowly. I'm not sure about this. I think GodLike are really playing good at this point of the game, but I'm starting to see these cracks form.
Yeah, the cracks are already forming.
I
You
top
can
players
see
they
that what they
kiwa na
are
khaile tai na
applying
bore
the
khilole.
pressure where it hurts,
Mundo
right?
koli.
Soul
Is it
need
no
to find
streamers?
an answer, and that answer has to come in from the dive that they have. Ubby has been dishing out the damage, but he hasn't gotten the kills. He has a Sky Piercer in his toolkit, but unfortunately, it's a 0-3-4. That's not where you want your main source of damage to be. Kakarot the same, an early game absolute monster on this Leomord, but it's a 2-2-4. Not been working in their favor. Ansi, who wants to get to the point where he can get super tanky, hasn't gotten to his power spike yet. On the other side, though, Bid, the target, who was there the entire time, 406. He was the one who was targeted down super hard in the first game. This game, though, he's okay. He understands the dive is still on top of him, but he's able to make it out alive. He was almost 1 HP on the bot side fight, but he still does. And you can see again, Romcom goes in, gets the taunt. Apex trying to create the space, trying to find the.
Oh, nice one feet. Nice.
What a shifting skies. Catch him up. He has to
Purified.
make it out purified.
Nice, nice, Romcom, nice.
Catches them as well.
Nahi, Romcom kheda hai, Romcom kheda hai.
Oh, but makes it out with a trace of art, finds a tsunami slam, and now they go gung-ho.
Leo भी show
alive as Bid is unstoppable. Apex has to run away. There's no backup. 4 members, 5 members just jumping on top of it, not letting him get out of there. AOG finally able to make it out with the help of the Revitalize, and GodLike
nice one,
have
Fate,
come
nice.
in to make a
statement.
They are bright, but they shine brighter when the light is upon them.
Man, I actually absolutely not there anymore. The side team GodLike dominated that fight. Hey, all honesty, I felt like Romcom, his positioning absolutely crazy. The moment Freya actually had to deal with Phobius, that's when he could not engage in that fight anymore. And while since the side of Team S8ul already started to engage, they could not disengage, especially at that crucial moment when Radium had to go back and Kakarot was stuck amongst 4 people and a tsunami slam and took him completely away from his team. Not good. Lord March again. There's going to be 8 seconds left base unless S8ul have other things to do.
I don't want to say, but Fate is looking to spoil them along with Art, looking to get a pick off Purified. Right time, looking to clear off the Lord. Use Bid his position beautifully, looking to find the right target. Has the Blood Wings to provide extra bit of sustain as well. He picked up the Wishing Lantern earlier, so you know no matter how tanky they are still going to get hurt down. The Dauntless Fleet used up, Concealed Play come through as well. Dark Wave right on top of Anti, the Throne of Ruin coming through. But at the same time, AOG to the back line. Wen makes it out alongside Bid. Bait's gonna be the target. He has it. He goes for the damage. And now you can see Bid again left in no man's land. And they find it. Romcom with a double in the back line. Anti goes in, trying to tell the damage, but he just doesn't have it. And Van is what gets taken out by Apex. Time, but doesn't have the damage title strike. GodLike have found the opening and are looking to crack down the base crystal of soul.
All honesty, got a lot of punches from the air, dude, and I think right now Fate, he knows he can be fearless. There's nobody from the side of Team S8ul that can really stop him. The moment he actually engages or disengages, nobody can actually catch him unless, of course, Gazakash uses the unbreakable taunt and keeps him in place. But that's not gonna happen anytime soon. They can't really afford to make any slip-ups here. There are a lot more difficult opportunities for Divine take it just yet, because they can't afford to take the game slow. At least game, they might actually have a lot of deficiencies in terms of towers and farm, but all in all, I feel like they do have an opportunity to turn it around. But GodLike, they're still so far ahead, man. It's surprising how they actually have more than at least 80% of everything done in the game. Just need to focus on the Nexus. It's almost done. The Lord is now, spawning in. This is going to be the third. Absolutely cracked to see what happens right now.
close lane is now.
Yeah, I think the Lord is gonna be
자세 위해서 이런 거 하나 보다 좀
at this point. Soul already down by 6k, right? This team needs to find an opening, and they're not able to find it. Anti went in, dove into the back line. He just doesn't have the damage. Bit is able to make it alive, bro. Bit is 509. That's a dive composition coming in from Soul, but still doesn't haven't died a single time. Dial strike coming in from Art. Kakarot goes in for the steed as well. Looking to go to the back line. Van for the Mountain Shocker, and you can see now they go in and they get the Purifier. Nobody home. Van fight the target. Kakarot's taken down, and now Soul will have to run because they don't know what to do. Apex back into the banks, and waves crashing in from all three sides.
Oh, nice, Fate, nice.
To the turret, and now they go in. Fate finds a
Nice
play,
damage.
and bid like a conductor in the back line, dishing out the damage in the RW on Anti.
Rongbom छैन बेस्ट भिडियोले मरेछ
there as well, but GodLike are taking heads one at a time, and so
Namali गुडी थिनि फर्स्ट गेम उसै नम बियर ड्राफ्ट रह्यो अरे नम बियर ड्राफ्ट
don't get wiped out as GodLike make a statement comeback and make this a 1-1, and oh my goodness, Crucifix, it's gonna be a long night.
एनाले त मुझे कुन जित बोले
I had my doubts about this draft, and well, there's a reason why the coach actually made this draft. They absolutely crushed it. S8ul had no response to this, and the fact that GodLike silencing S8ul after that first
नम बियर ड्राफ्ट रह्यो अरे
that shows determination to win this game, and it's completely turned it around. I loved it. I doubt that, to be very honest, I had my doubts, but they absolutely showed me up.
Man, that they know what to do. They understood the assignment. This guy deserves the MVP. There's no chance whatsoever. Even after going against the Gatokacha, you can basically just Valkyrie descent with a flicker. He didn't have the flicker, that's fine, but a Valkyrie descent straight into the back line. All the pressure on him. Yes, they caught him in game number 1. Ain't no way that's gonna happen again, said him. Vidya Sagar, that's his name, but oh my goodness, did the way he played, the way he positioned himself, beautiful.
Amazing.
Absolutely beautiful.
Hey, and let's just talk about Kalea. This guy made sure that Kakarot's life was in danger at every single given moment. The fact that in the last team fight, he used Flicker just to get himself closer to, Kakarot, that was, like, bro, just leave the enemy jungler alone. You're not even taking objectives, you're taking a fight. And bro legit just made sure that, Kakarot or Radium had to, run for their life when Art is right nearby them. In his hands, obviously, one of the signature picks is something that you should actually not be reckoning with. That's a force to be reckoned with.
Force to be reckoned with, indeed.
Just start no third game no time no 10 minutes low.
You know what? If you take a couple steps back, right, folks? If you take a couple steps back and think about what draft game number 1 was, where GodLike really laid out the trap, where S8ul really laid out the trap, right? They're like, okay, we're gonna go with the Guinevere first pick. We're gonna leave Bid's favorite hero, which is the Heave, open. And I'll be honest, for the longest of time, Bid had almost a 100% win rate in competitive play for ML with this Eve. Right, for a very long time, he had a winning streak going. Nobody could really understand how to take him down, and they finally did. But then again, it's not that it was his fault. It was just the fact that the draft was never in his favor. So Soul kind of understood the assignment, and I'm assuming Apex is the one that does the draft. He does the home where he comes in prepared with sheets. He kind of knew what was needed to get that surprise, get that surprise factor in, and that's what they did in game number 1. With that surprise factor, laid the trap down. GodLike fell into the trap. And now S8ul won the first game. Okay, well played. But in the second game, GodLike figured out, okay, that was the trap. Now we got to switch it around a little bit. It's okay if they leave that open. We will still pick that up, showing that we are strong. We know what we want to play. It's all right. It's our mid laner's favorite hero. It's Bid's favorite hero. It's Bid's best hero, rather. They are okay picking it up, even though you're going to dive on top of him. And they laid a trap of their own. And instantly, even though he's going to be dove upon, he had the protection, especially from Fate in the goal lane, who was the rich guy, using the shifting skies at the right time, catching them off guard. Made beautiful sets, and then you have the carry bit who dealt the most damage, which is what he does with this kind of lineup. The back line absorbed a whole bunch of damage. They just didn't have the execution from Kakarot on that Leomord. And of course, the wingman are looking to bait out those purifies at the right place at the right time, 60 seconds before the turtle, knowing that they have 20 seconds in that neutral objective fight to pick somebody off, and he played that beautifully. GodLike have come with the game plan. Yes, they were shaken at the start, but at this point, they are unfazed, man, and well-deserved MVP for Bid.
Totally, I completely agree with you, man. But one thing that I want to talk about is the drafting. The fact that they drafted it so well. Like, decided in GodLike, yeah, if they wanted to go for the Sora, they need to make sure that Valentina is not going to be there. It's not an actual potential threat to a Sora pick. They made sure that Fate actually got the Sora in the end. They had the Yisun Shin, a flex pick, played, and, you know, trying to bait out the goal lane pick. Obviously, it wasn't Freya, it was the pick first. And then, let's just face it, the fact that Yisun Shin was there, they actually believed that Yisun Shin would have been played in the goal lane, if not the jungle. But that goal lane thing was always there. And the moment they actually saw that the jungle position was getting banned off in the second banning phase, they realized, oh, it's a Yisun Shin in the jungle. So they didn't know what the side of the team was bring to the table in the goal lane. They had to make sure they actually they had. They did not expect a Sora though, a hero that's very tanky, very utility based. It's got so much in its kit. You can completely just shut down in just the place that you want them to. The kill box actually worked out in that favor. In that use shifting skies, pulled people with the torn form. He was able to actually keep everyone to Bid's control. Like you said, the control tower for a reason, bro.
I agree, and it's like you kind of choked down Bid early on. You know, GodLike is gonna crumble. That's what they did at the previous